Hello everyone, welcome to Excel Education. We have been creating videos of current affairs multi-choice question for the last days regularly. So continuing this trend, we shall start our today's video starting with the first question. Question number 1. Consider the following statements. Statement 1. World Trade Organization uses the factors of trade and the level of economic development of a country as the criteria for making a distinction between a developed and a developing country member. Statement 2. World Bank uses per capita incomes as the criteria to classify countries as developed and developing countries. Which of the above statements are correct? Option A, 1 only. Option B, 2 only. Option C, both 1 and 2. Option D, neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer for this is option B, 2 only. World Bank uses per capita incomes as the criteria to classify countries as developed and developing countries. Under the World Trade Organization rules, any country can self-designate itself as a developing country. In fact, the World Trade Organization does not lay down any specific criteria for making a distinction between a developed and a developing country member, unlike in the World Bank, where per capita incomes are used to classify countries. Heading to the next question, question number 2. The Ministry of Home Affairs can designate individuals as terrorists under which of the following provisions? Option A, National Security Act 1980. Option B, Prevention of Terrorism Act 2002. Option C, the Unlawful Activities Amendment Act 2019. Option D, only organizations can be designated as terrorists and not individuals. The correct answer for this is option C, the Unlawful Activities Prevention Amendment Act 2019. The Ministry of Home Affairs designated 9 more individuals as terrorists under the amended anti-terror law that was passed by the Parliament in 2019. The Unlawful Activities Prevention Act UAPA, enacted in 1967, was first amended in 2004, then 2008 and 2013. The UAPA, as amended in August 2019, gave the Ministry of Home Affairs the power to designate individuals as terrorists. Heading to the next question, question number 3. Consider the following statements about Food and Agriculture Organization. Statement 1. It is a specialized agency of the United Nations. Statement 2. India is one of the founding members of Food and Agriculture Organization. It is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. Which of the statements given above are correct? Option A, 2 only. Option B, 2 and 3 only. Option C, 1 and 2 only. Option D, 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer for this is option C, 1 and 2 only. Food and Agriculture Organization is a specialized agency of the United Nations that leads international efforts to defeat hunger and improve nutrition and food security. India is one of the founding members of FAO. Food and Agriculture Organization has been a staunch partner since 1948, when Food and Agriculture Organization operations in India first began. The FAO is headquartered in Rome, Italy. Heading to the next question, question number 4. Consider the following statements regarding freedom of navigation. Statement 1. Freedom of navigation is a principle of customary international law that ships flying the flag of any sovereign state shall not suffer interference from other states without any exceptions. Statement 2. This right to freedom of navigation is codified under United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Statement 3. Not all UN member states have ratified the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Which of the above statements are correct? Option A, 1 and 2. Option B, 1 and 3. Option C, 2 and 3. Option D, 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer for this is option C, 2 and 3. Freedom of navigation is a principle of customary international law that ships flying the flag of any sovereign state shall not suffer interference from other states apart from the exceptions provided for in international law. In the realm of international law, it has been defined as freedom of movement for vessels, freedom to enter ports and to make use of land and docks, to load and unload goods and to transport goods and passengers. This right is now also codified as Article 87 Clause 1A of the 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Not all UN member states have ratified the convention. Notably, the United States has signed but not ratified the convention. The UNCLOS introduced a number of legal concepts that allowed freedom of navigation within and outside of the maritime jurisdictions of countries. These are right of ocean passage, right of transit passage, right of archipelagic sea lands passage, and freedom of the high seas. The right of ocean passage allows ships to travel in other countries' territorial seas if it is not prejudicial to the peace, good order, or security of the coastal state. However, some countries like China requires warships to attain prior authorization before they enter Chinese national waters. Moving on to the next question. Question number 5. Which of the following committee recommend on the issue of poverty estimation in India? Option 1, Suresh Tendulkar Committee. Option 2, C. Rangarajan Committee. Option 3, D.T. Lagdawala Committee. Select the correct answer using the code given below. Option A, 1 and 2 only. Option B, 2 and 3 only. Option C, 1 and 3 only. Option D, all of the above. The correct answer for this is option D, all of the above. In 1993, Lagdawala Committee to review methodology for poverty estimation recommended: Point 1. Consumption expenditure should be calculated based on calorie consumption as earlier. Point 2. State-specific poverty lines should be constructed and this should be updated using the Consumer Price Index of industrial workers in urban areas and Consumer Price Index of agricultural labor in rural areas. And point 3. Discontinuation of scaling of poverty estimates based on National Account Statistics. Tendulkar Committee, 2009. To review methodology for poverty estimation recommended: Point 1. A shift away from calorie consumption-based poverty estimation. Point 2. A uniform poverty line basket across rural and urban area. Point 3. A change in the price adjustment procedure to correct spatial and temporal issues with price adjustments. And point 4. Incorporation of private expenditure on health and education while estimating poverty. C. Rangarajan Committee, 2014. To review the methodology for measurement of poverty, added 2 more items of expenditure in estimating the poverty line. Point A. Clothing expenses, rent, conveyance and education expenses. And point B. All non-food expenses that meet nutrition requirements. It computed and reduced average requirements of calories, proteins and fats based on ICMR norms. Each estimation is based on an independent large survey of households by Center for Monitoring Indian Economy. Moving on to the next question. Question number 6. Which among the following are the 2 goals set by the World Bank Group for the world to achieve by 2030? Option A. Ending extreme poverty and promoting shared prosperity. Option B. Eliminating poverty and ensuring stability of the international monetary and financial system. Option C. Ending absolute poverty and food security with zero hunger. Option D. Ending extreme poverty and quality education. The correct answer for this is option A. ending extreme poverty and promoting shared prosperity. The World Bank Group has set 2 goals for the world to achieve by 2030. End extreme poverty by decreasing the percentage of people living on less than $1.90 a day to no more than 3%. Promote shared prosperity by fostering the income growth of the bottom 40% for every country. Moving on to the next question. Question number 7. Consider the following statements regarding the MSME Emergency Response Program. Statement 1. It aims to support flow of finance into the hands of micro, small and medium enterprises severely impacted by the COVID-19 crisis. Statement 2. It is a World Bank program in collaboration with the Government of India. Which of the statements given above are correct? Option A, 1 only. Option B, 2 only. Option C, both 1 and 2. Option D, neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer for this is option C, both 1 and 2. The World Bank and the Government of India have signed the $750 million agreement for the MSME Emergency Response Program, which was recently approved by the World Bank's Board of Executive Directors to support increased flow of finance into the hands of micro, small and medium enterprises severely impacted by the COVID-19 crisis. The World Bank has to date committed $2.75 billion to support India's emergency COVID-19 response, including the new MSME project. The first $1 billion emergency support was announced in April this year for immediate support to India's health sector. Another $1 billion project was approved in May to increase cash transfers and food benefits to the poor and vulnerable, including a more consolidated delivery platform accessible to both rural and urban populations across state boundaries. The $750 million loan from the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development (IBRD) has a maturity of 19 years, including a 5-year grace period. Going on to the next question, question number 8. Global Outbreak Alert and Response Network is an initiative of option A, Food and Agriculture Organization, option B, World Health Organization, option C, World Bank Group, option D, World Meteorological Organization. The correct answer for this is option B, World Health Organization. Global Outbreak Alert and Response Network is a network composed of numerous technical and public health institutions, laboratories, NGOs, and other organizations that work to observe and respond to threatening epidemics. Global Outbreak Alert and Response Network works closely with and under the World Health Organization, which is one of its most notable partners. Its goals are to examine and study diseases, evaluate the risk that certain diseases pose, and improve international capability to deal with diseases. Moving on to the next question, question number 9. Consider the following statements regarding the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership membership. Statement 1. All members of the ASEAN Group are party to the RCEP. Statement 2. India and Japan have opted out of the RCEP agreement. Which of the statements given above are correct? Option A, 1 only. Option B, 2 only. Option C, both 1 and 2. Option D, neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer for this is option A, 1 only. All members of the ASEAN Group are party to the RCEP. Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership (RCEP) is a proposed trade agreement among the member states of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations and its free trade agreement partners. It aims to cover trade in goods and services, intellectual property, etc. It is due to be signed in November 2020. Member states of ASEAN and their FTA partners in RCEP are Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, China, Japan, South Korea, Australia, and New Zealand. India also has FTA with ASEAN but has opted out of RCEP. On November 4, 2019, India opted out of the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. Prime Minister at RCEP summit said the present form of the RCEP agreement does not fully reflect the basic spirit and the agreed guiding principles of RCEP. It also does not address satisfactorily India's outstanding issues and concerns in such a situation. Japan has not opted out of the RCEP. Heading to the next question, question number 10. Consider the following statements regarding the Global Health Security Index. Statement 1. It is an assessment of health security in the states party to the International Health Regulations 2005. Statement 2. It is an initiative of the World Health Organization. Which of the statements given above are correct? Option A, 1 only. Option B, 2 only. Option C, both 1 and 2. Option D, neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer for this is option A, 1 only. The Global Health Security Index is a comprehensive assessment and benchmarking of health security and related capabilities across the 195 countries that make up the states parties to the International Health Regulations IHR 2005. The Global Health Security Index is a project of the Nuclear Threat Initiative and the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security and was developed with the Economist Intelligence Unit. The GHSI 2019 stated that national health security is fundamentally weak around the world and no country is fully prepared for epidemics or pandemics, and every country has important gaps to address. So this is the end of today's video. We hope you liked the video, and if so, please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel for the upcoming videos. Thank you.